Derek Brown, Brian Burns, great scheme. Also, I've played against this scheme for a number of years now. Seattle, this is the Rams scheme, and it's kind of starting to move its way around the NFL. But Ejiro, one of the guys who I really respect in this profession, and to just see the way that he makes intelligent calls, and really to me, when you see good coordinators, defensive coordinators, they make specific calls in a 2-minute drill when you're in tempo. They know how to get those calls in a timely fashion. I think of right before the half in Carolina at the end of the season, they call a timeout. We have a few seconds left, calls a timeout, changes the call based on what my formation was, crushed our play. We threw it away. We ended up getting a field goal out of it, but I was hoping for more. Those type of things are what I saw from the Panthers defense, and the way that they got those guys to communicate in short order.
Aside from character, what are the things when you're looking for a player and you say this is a guy that I can get behind, I want to coach him? What are you looking for? What tops your list?
Physicality. Yeah, we want guys that play with great effort and guys that play physical, and that's going to be our identity.
Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, D-Jack being traded. Yes, Dan Morgan did do all those three things going into this offseason, heading into draft season. Yes, this defense is going to look different. No, this defense is not going to be depleted. But Ejiro Evero and Dan Morgan have a plan for this defense. Bring in guys that are familiar with this scheme, players that are veterans, players that have played underneath me, meaning Evero, in LA and in Denver. People thought this defense was going to be depleted once we traded Brian Burns. You look at the acquisitions of Ashawn Robinson, Josie Jewell, DJ Wanham, Dan Jackson, Jordan Fuller, Kevon Chasen. These players are not supposed to be the Brian Burns, the Frankie Louvus, or the Dante Jacksons. They're going to be their own men. But underneath Ejiro Evero, this defense is going to look different. And I think this defense may surprise a lot of people with the familiarity all these players have in Ejiro Evero's defense. But they are still holes that Dan Morgan has to address here in the draft. The draft is fastly approaching. We're almost here in April. It's almost time to get those dogs like Dan Morgan wants on this defense. And if you look at it, I think the veteran mix with rookies and veterans on this defensive side of the ball will look night and day compared to last year's defense.
A couple of guys that you have brought in, 3 guys, I think, that have history with Evero and have played for him. Is that important?
Yeah, I think it is. Ejiro, obviously, he knows Josie, he knows Jordan Fuller. So to be familiar with those guys, he already knows them as people, but those guys know this defense. So they can plug and play. There's not going to be a lot of, learning that has to be done. They can literally go out there on the practice field day one and know what the defense is. So that's invaluable.
I was going to say, you got to like that as a GM, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And our first group we're going to talk about is that DN room. Yes, we did lose Brian Burns, but there are options out. Penn State, 2 players that we're very high on right now, starting out with Chop Robinson out of Penn State, standing at 6'3", 254 pounds. Getting comparisons to Michael Parsons already, who we missed on in previous years due to not drafting him like a lot of other 31 teams in the NFL. Also, if you look at his counterpart as Adasi Isaac out of Penn State, who also is already getting love from our linebacker coaches to come in and possibly be a draft pick who's trending up in the right way on draft boards. Then you also have Austin Booker out of Kansas, along with Marshawn Keelan out of Western Michigan, who both have top 30 visits with the Carolina Panthers to actually do a deeper dive, and we actually get to talk to them longer than we did at the Combine. But with Marshawn Keelan standing at 6'3", 267 pounds, he's very raw, and his tangibles need coaching. But he is a talent and size that you do not let up on, because if you see a gym there, you polish the gym and you work with the gym, and the gym is going to turn into diamonds, and then you have a Pro Bowler. So I do think we're definitely going to address that DN position. Don't know when in the draft, but it will be addressed because we do and we'll have that position be by rotation, and it'll be by committee. It won't just be one person being on the field for all 3 downs. For different scenarios, I think Ejiro Evero will have a room full of athletes with different traits going into the season. Then you look at the linebackers. Yes, we did get Josie Jewell. Yes, you still have Shaq Thompson there. But Chris Boswell out of Alabama, standing at 6'3", 251 pounds, did not receive a lot of snaps when he was at Alabama. And that should be an eye-opener. But he's very raw as well, just like Mr. Nealon out of Western Michigan. Another one of my favorites is Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M. He's standing at 6'2", 230 pounds. Passion and intensity is his game. He's going to give you everything he has, every snap, every play of the game. And is a great blitzer if we do draft him, which I think Evero wants a lot of athletic blitzing type linebackers. And lastly, look at Mr. Peyton Wilson out of NC State, who is already getting comparisons himself, and Luke Kuechly said himself that he could be Luke 2.0, bigger, stronger, faster. Last group we're going to talk about is corners. TJ Tampa out of Iowa State. Ball hawk. If you just look at the clip, great technique, eyes on the ball, great hips, got an interception. I also think DJ James out of Auburn is another option for us. Smooth mirroring a wide receiver, but is very weak in the run game. Then we have Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, standing at 6 foot, 199 pounds, compares himself to J.C. Horn. Also is a press corner, what J.C. Horn excels in as well. If he gets his hands on you, he would knock you off your route. But the only problem is he's injury prone, just like J.C. Horn. We cannot have 2 corners that are injury prone that you have to rely on, and then you have to go down the depth chart because of both of your starting corners are hurt. I also think that he will get a visit because he is a local kid, and Wake Forest is a local school this year going to the Carolinas, where we can bring in for top 30 visits. So Dan Morgan's job is not done. Dave Canales' job is not done. They still have the draft ahead of them. With being here in 4 weeks in Detroit, I do think they have to still address certain areas on this defense. Yes, as you did hear, Dan Morgan said that we brought in players not because of familiarity with Evero, but they are ballers. It just helps that they have connections with Evero, and not ballers. I meant dogs. And that's one thing I think Dan Morgan will draft. He's not a Fitterer 2.0. He is his own man. He has shown us as Carolina Panther fans that he will get his hands dirty. He will do things his way, but he's going to bring in talent, and he wants the Carolina Panthers to be relevant again. So with the draft, as you guys have seen in our previous video, if you have not, definitely check it out. We talked about the offensive side of the ball, a couple of prospects that Carolina could draft throughout the draft that we need to address: the wide receiver, the offensive line, the tight end room, and the running back room. Over possibly 20 prospects that What's Up Doug has covered to get you prepared for the draft. The draft is fastly approaching, like we say. But I do think Carolina is in a better situation underneath Dan Morgan being the GM going into a draft. I think he would not reach. He's going to be very strategic. And I think we are going to have a great weekend with a draft. Not having a first-round pick, but trading Brian Burns and getting another second-round pick. I think Dan Morgan has done his due diligence, and I cannot wait to see what this game plan is going to be. Also, shout out to my guys, AJ and Quan. Definitely look forward to having them up when we do these mock drafts. Also, we will have 2 fans in the stands and other Panthers content creators. If you are not supporting these Panthers content creators, you're missing out. We all have different perspectives. Definitely go show them some love. Definitely let them know C. Dougie sent you their way to definitely just show support. But I cannot wait. It's getting juicy. It's at the off season. We're about to have the players back in the building. It is time for football. You can smell the grass, and I cannot wait. So, like I said, what you can look forward to now is we're going to do a couple of mock drafts before draft night. And we're definitely have a couple special guests that you guys do not want to miss out when they are able to come up on the channel and draft with us. Also join us as well if you are new to the channel, or if you're in the chat when we go live. Pull up on us. Definitely give us your perspective on the draft as well. But as we always say over here at What's Up Doug, we appreciate the support. If you are new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also share the video so other people will not miss the content that you're enjoying as well. Stay safe, stay blessed. One love.